Steelers and the Memphis Hounds. With that, let's get up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Standing by for the call from venerable Lambeau Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And, partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Here we go now. Blue 45. Blue 45.
On second down, here's Mahomes. He'll rifle this, looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Gehring. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30. Johnson, the intended target. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many runs in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. So here's Vic following the interception. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
Still second down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs, but the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
To throw, Vic. He's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Ray Lewis with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And that'll make it 3-0 here in the first. Well, the offense, they got the ball in a great spot, but they went nowhere. Forced him to take just the 3.
And they'll be, happy taking the 3. But those guys on the other side, they've got to be ecstatic. They didn't let them get anywhere. It made them kick a field goal. That almost feels like they got the advantage, doesn't it?
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find. Because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field.
Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. Melvin Ingram in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Hindsight is 20/20. Partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Throwing now is Mahomes. That'll be caught over the middle by Moss. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10.
Green, 90.
They go play action. Now Mahomes. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court. Defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Mahomes again here on 2nd and 10. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
They go play action here on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game. Goes on. I'm going to hit him with a screen soon.
Now a second down throw for Vic. It's caught on the right side. It's Smith. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. A minute 59 to go in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. Here's Brad Wing now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. There'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. Bottom line, he's got to figure things out. He's completed 3 passes, but 2 of them have been to the wrong team so far.
And when we talk about the best quarterbacks, we're usually talking about touchdown to interception ratio, aren't we? And 2 to 1 is acceptable, but the top line guys, 3 to 1 or better is what they're looking for. Now we're talking about interceptions versus completions. That's not a ratio should ever be in any discussion. I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are. Figure out the things that they really want to accomplish and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction. I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they run successful.
They run. It's Johnson. And trying to push his way forward, but I think he's going to be short. And he is short. He needed 2. He only got 1. And as a result, possession switches hands. And defensively, they were ready for that. A full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
It'll be a gain of 8, but it also lead to a 4th down. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Mahomes will try again on 2nd down. And his throw is incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Chris Johnson, the running back. And it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. He's got daylight. The 30, 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. 97 yards. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And our attention shifts to Todd Gurley. And I'm not going to say you completely abandon the passing game, but it would really behoove them to get this running game going more.
That's the identity most teams are seeking. Able to establish themselves, control the game by running it, have to touch it multiple times in order to have success in this game.
And as we say, that's right, as we say all the time, that sets up the passing game. I feel like a broken record with that.
Listen, we can be broken records all we want. Bottom line is, lather up that big horse and let him run.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Vick on 2nd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Smith. And out across midfield down to the 45. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 1st and 10, here's Vick. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing, Vick. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down. This offense so far on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. This will be the final play of the half. Vick into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by 2-time All-Pro Rodney Harrison. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now Michael Vick and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the 3rd. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation.
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by 2-time All-Pro Rodney Harrison. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And that's a loss of 7 on the 1st down play.
Well, so much for all the time that you spend in practice because for offensive linemen and running backs to get in sync, That requires a ton of practice time, a ton of watching tape together, a ton of really getting to where you're thinking with one mind on every single play that's called, every single run, because you want to know how your guy's going to block it. They want to know how he's going to run it, what kind of cuts he's going to make, and it's really anticipatory. And when you're really locked in together, you know what he's going to do before he actually does it. On this play, that didn't happen at all, and that turned into a big loss.
Man open, it's Moss complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Randy Moss, 43 yards. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post-route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily that you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And it's incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
20.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long at the outset of this drive. Oh, and now Vic throwing another interception. Picked up by two-time All-Pro Rodney Harrison. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct.
Blue 45. Blue 45.
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Blue 45.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
Back now at Lambeau. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number They go play fake. Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. That's Moss. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Randy Moss, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the interception by the Steeler D leads to a touchdown. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And
his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked up by two-time All-Pro Rodney Harrison. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. And give him now 4 interceptions in this game. That's only the third time this has been done since the year 2000.
I think that tells you how much better teams have gotten at throwing the football. If you go all the way back to 1960, 12 times before that, there have been guys who've gotten 4 interceptions or more in a game. I mean, most recently, since 2000, Delta O'Neal and D'Angelo Hall.
Out comes Randy Moss and company as they take the field. When you're in a zone like he is, what's the conversation like on the sideline between he and his quarterback? Is that a one-way conversation of, hey, just keep getting me the football?
It actually is probably a two-way conversation because he wants to keep getting him the football because he's seeing the payoff. You know, getting the ball to that guy means yardage, and as we've seen, touchdowns in this game. So I think both of them get more and more excited about the possibilities as things continue on.
Yeah, so far it's been over 100 yards and the 2 scores.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
A good pickup there, a 22. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go. Blue 45. Blue
Time
45.
for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brandon Marshall coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure it out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender is making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week? Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Vic now from the 50. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by two-time All-Pro Rodney Harrison. And we now have a new single-game interception king, a record-breaking 5th pick there.
If that's not the true definition of a ball hawk, I don't know what is. That is absolutely phenomenal. What comes to mind quickly, partner, is one of the more recent ones to get to 4. D'Angelo Hall, a terrific player in his own right, but in this case, 5. That sets a brand new NFL record.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They have the big cushion. Here in the final stages of this one, I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about all the preparation that went into it. When they first started talking about this game, leading up to it during the week, going on the road, unfamiliar city, obviously, unfamiliar hotel. No one's going to be with you once you get to the stadium. They're all going to be against you. You name it, all those things they had to deal with, they were able to conquer them and do it convincingly.
Well, they did it. Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. Solomon Thomas in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game.
Blue 45.
They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. Mahomes hit. He lost the football. And this is going to go the other way. The defense has it. And they're not able to convert on 4th down. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. 2nd down, Vic. This will be caught at about the 5. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play. Vic, 3rd and goal. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by two-time All-Pro Rodney Harrison. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. They give it, and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Interesting, Mahomes wants to throw it. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Here's the former Saint and Viking Morton Anderson to get this one started. And off we go in Madden Ultimate Team. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Spinning away. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now here's Mahomes. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And it's knocked away and incomplete. DRC, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie getting in there to break it up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Green 39. Green 39.
Here we go, fourth down, Mahomes. Going top shelf for Smith. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Emerson Walls. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle.
Green 39. Green 39. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now Jones, off play action. It's complete to Golden Tate.